Since Salim Basul took the reins as CEO, Six Flags has been very stingy in terms of new ride additions. Now, whether you think that's good, bad, or somewhere in between, Six Flags has now seemingly confirmed that era is over. In the Q2 earnings call for Six Flags, Chief Financial Officer Gary Mick confirmed that there will be a lineup of new state-of-the-art rides coming to Six Flags parks in 2024, even confirming the addition of a new roller coaster to Six Flags Great Adventure.
We have a 50th anniversary coming up at our park in New Jersey, and we had an opportunity to add a nice ride kind of late in the game, and that's a little bit rare because it takes generally a while to design and build a coaster. So we had a fortunate opportunity, and we decided to take it.
Mick also stated that capital expenditures will be in the range of $200 million to $220 million for 2024, which is up from the $170 to $180 million range from last year. This comes along with an even larger bump for 2025, where anticipated expenditures will be from $230 million to $250 million. For anyone wary of statements in past years from Salim Basul, fear not, because...
And for the teens and thrill seekers, we have an exciting lineup of marketable capital for 2024 and 2025, supported by our biggest investment in new rides and attraction in many years. Thrill rides is our DNA.
Salim has definitely shifted his mentality toward new rides, which is great from a roller coaster enthusiast perspective, but this means we will likely see a handful of new roller coasters over the next few years. Now, before anyone gets too excited, it's important to note what exactly capital expenditures are. In the words of Gary Mick, capital expenditures for Six Flags are defined as new rides, infrastructure improvements, guest-facing technology, and amenities inside of the parks. Not all of that money goes towards new rides, but a good bit of it does. So today, I'll be discussing everything we know about new rides coming to Six Flags parks in 2024. I'll be breaking down all the teasers and rumors about what this new lineup of attractions could look like. Before we get into what could be coming next year, I'm going to go over a few rides that were supposed to open this year but could possibly get delayed till next year. Six Flags Fiesta Texas and Six Flags Over Georgia both announced Kid Flash Cosmic Coaster, which is a dueling Skylines Piscatty Bowl coaster, both of which were supposed to open this summer. Neither of these have opened, but there has been some construction process, and based on what we know, I'd expect them to open in the fall, or potentially sometime this winter, as these parks are slated to get new additions for 2024. Six Flags St. Louis was supposed to open Rookie Racer, a Vekoma family coaster, but there's been hardly any progress, at least on track work with that ride, so I would not be surprised to see that delayed until 2024. The park president for Six Flags St. Louis did confirm that a new addition is coming for the park next year as well. So there's a shot to try to get that open in the fall of this year, but I don't think that's going to happen at this point. Six Flags America announced a water coaster called Rip Curl Blaster, and from what I've heard from people familiar with the park is that there have been some issues with permits, so this slide will likely be delayed until 2024. As far as I know, Six Flags America is not slated to get anything else new for 2024, so I'll mark this water coaster down as their new addition. Pretty much every other park are fair game for fresh new additions, but given that we've only seen teasing from a select few parks, I think this year's lineup will be more quality over quantity. But that being said, I would still expect a decent amount of announcements to come. It's also important to keep in mind that Six Flags will be having a chain-wide pass sale beginning August 24th, so expect announcements to take place around that time frame. Now let's talk about two parks that have already set their announcement dates. The first of the two is Six Flags Over Georgia. They have been teasing an announcement for about a month now that will take place on August 19th, which is the date of the park's Coaster Fest event. It's pretty obvious that this will be a roller coaster because they're announcing it at a coaster-focused event. And there is also this news report teaser where the reporter said that sources inside of the park were saying it may be a roller coaster. There's a small plot of land in the middle of the park that used to house a water ride that has gotten completely torn up and is being prepped for something new. The park also teased about the coaster being a launch roller coaster, so that's likely what we're seeing here. Due to the use of coaster enthusiast detectives, it seems like the manufacturer for this coaster will be Intamin. The news report that I referred to earlier featured a crate teasing a delivery for the new ride, and it had stickers on it that each represented where an Intamin office is around the world. With Intamin most likely being the manufacturer, there's only 2 models that I could see fitting in this plot of land. The current leading candidate is an Intamin Ultra Surf. The main reason people are saying this is because Intamin recently put on their website that there is a to be announced Ultra Surf coming somewhere around the world. The timing of this seemingly random information drop is very peculiar, as another manufacturer silently teased the release of another coaster suspected to go to a Six Flags park. But we'll get to that in a bit. This would make sense as there's nothing like it in the park, but I also think there's another model that could make a lot of sense here, and that is an Intamin Hot Racer. The Intamin Hot Racer is also a launch coaster. It would fit the plot of land they have depending on the layout, and Six Flags seems to be in love with these single rail coasters, so why not buy one more? The only thing going against this would be that Kid Flash Cosmic Coaster, another single rail roller coaster, will open probably just a handful of months before this ride. But Six Flags doesn't really seem to care for redundancy, and this could make a cool little ladder for kids to climb in their thrill ride journey. I'd still lean toward the Ultra Surf because it seems more marketable, but don't be surprised if they go with a Hot Racer. Six Flags Fiesta Texas, more specifically Jeffrey Siebert, the park's president, has been shoving teasers down our throats, and it's getting people really confused. The park will be making an announcement regarding 2024 on August 26th at the FT92 fan event. I think there's going to be a new ride of sorts coming, but I couldn't tell if it was going to be a roller coaster, flat ride, or a combination of the two. I think there will be a new ride because Siebert has been playing a game of musical chairs with manufacturers' logos on Instagram, so I don't think that's all for nothing. He's also teasing that some of the rides in the park could be staying or going. I get the feeling that a few of these rides will be removed, but some may be relocated within the park. With all this cryptic messaging and the post right here, pause the video if you want to read the whole thing, kinda gives me the thought there's going to be a new area of the park, maybe with some kind of magical theme with some new rides and those relocated ones. I think a wooden coaster or Vekoma of some sorts would be an awesome headliner to the new area, but I don't want to overhype this for myself or anyone else. It's important to consider that this park just got Dr. Diabolical's cliffhanger, and is slated to receive Kid Flash Cosmic Coaster very soon. At the same time though, this park has become the golden child for the Six Flags chain in a time of very little investment. So as investment grows, it might make sense for the chain to start giving this park even more love. Unfortunately, I don't think that'll mean a new coaster, at least not this year. I believe this because in many of the teasers posted, you can see a reference at the bottom of the caption saying WSJ 6323. This is referencing an article from the Wall Street Journal on that date where the headline stated, Six Flags is a new summer attraction. It's not a roller coaster. Maybe it's in reference to something else as we could see a package of additions, but I'm going to say that we will not be seeing a roller coaster. I think we'll see a big new flat ride from Zamperla or Mondial. Maybe something like Tundra Twister? I don't know, I'm really stumped on this one. I'll place my money on some sort of expansion for the park with 1 or 2 new flat rides. Maybe in preparation for a roller coaster in 2025. The Great Adventure 50th anniversary hype has been heating up. And like I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this video, this is technically the only park that has confirmed to be getting a roller coaster. The big things we've learned so far from the teasing that the park has done is that the ride will be near the front entrance of the park in some way, shape, or form, and will likely have its entrance in the Metropolis area of the park. The other big teaser was the addition of different numbers that led to the sum of 587, which is suspected to be the number of hours from that day to the announcement. The current leading speculation is that this roller coaster will be a Vekoma Super Boomerang. 436 would be the length of the ride in meters, which is the only logical explanation for this number that we have. 10 would also be the number of airtime moments that Vekoma advertises on their Super Boomerangs. This all makes sense because it would appear that this edition is an off-the-shelf model, as Mick stated that this edition was added late in the game. Since the metric system is not a commonplace in America, I am skeptical of what the 436 actually means, but realistically, it's not going to be the height, speed, ride duration, or any other stats that you think, so I don't really have a good alternative to this. This would be a very imposing ride next to the front entrance, and this would give the park a multi-launching roller coaster. For the other teasers that we've heard, I'd expect the park to make various other improvements for the anniversary, like a renovation of the log flume, which is already announced. The newest teasing campaign has come from Six Flags Great America, which has been using the hashtag #TakeToTheSkies2024. At the former Daredevil Dive Sky Coaster, which recently closed, the park teased the Daredevil has been on strike for 172 days, possibly relating to the maximum height of the new attraction. Many have attributed this number to the maximum swing of a Zamperla Giga Discovery. This would give the park a towering flat ride that many of the other Six Flags parks have, and they seem to be very popular. The park does have a frisbee ride called Revolution, but it's an outdated and unreliable ride. Although this does make a lot of sense, one other potential option I like to bring to the table is a Vekoma Super Boomerang. When I referenced another manufacturer dropping seemingly random information earlier, that manufacturer was Vekoma. Vekoma revealed that a new Super Boomerang is coming somewhere in the world that will be 52.5 meters tall, which is 172 feet. This is where it gets confusing. The length of this supposed coaster is 436 meters, which matches up with the 436 number that Great Adventure teased for their new coaster. So if those numbers both fit those parks, could both parks be getting a Vekoma Super Boomerang for next year? The only thing that really makes me hesitant to say that is that Vekoma has only teased one Super Boomerang coming soon. But that's not to say it wouldn't be cloned. It makes even more sense considering that Great Adventure got their ride late in the game, which means they might have already purchased that same ride for Great America. So it's possible Six Flags got a nice discount on the one potentially going to Great Adventure. However, the reason I don't think we'll be seeing this is because if this ride is going on Daredevil's plot of land, like the teasers are hinting at, fitting in a Vekoma Super Boomerang will require the removal of more rides like Revolution. That's not impossible considering that the park just teased something about this ride potentially getting removed, but that would not be enough to accommodate the entire footprint of the Super Boomerang. It would also likely require the removal of this building here, while the Giga Discovery wouldn't require any of that. That's not impossible, but it seems like we're going a bit far. For now, I'll stick with the Zamperla Giga Discovery, but don't be shocked if we see a boomerang come here. Fiesta, Texas, Over Georgia, Great America, and Great Adventure will likely be the 4 parks sporting the biggest additions for 2024. I put my money on 7 or 8 total additions for next year. We know Six Flags St. Louis is getting a ride package, so for them I'd say maybe a Zamperla ride package similar to what we saw at Carowinds this past year. I think another park to watch out for is actually Great Escape. Six Flags has talked about removing old, high-maintenance rides and replacing them with something new, which may certainly be the case here with Alpine bobsleds, as it's being closed permanently in September. I've also heard that Predator at Darien Lake might be getting a full layout's worth of Titan track next year, converting it to a steel wood hybrid coaster from the park president as well. I would be a bit surprised if we don't see a water park addition or two come throughout the chain, so be on the lookout for that. I'll throw in a guess to help fill out the rest of the lineup. I think we'll see Great Escape announce a Piscetti Bowl kids coaster or a smaller family coaster to replace Alpine bobsleds. There is a lot of land in that area of the park, so if they want to go with a new flat ride package, that's something that could fit as well. But I do think there will be a new addition to Great Escape next year. If not, definitely look out for 2025. I know I might sound biased, but I think there's a good chance Darien Lake gets a flat ride edition, as the dry park hasn't gotten something new since 2019, and this is a pretty big park for that long of a drought. To add insult to injury, there's also been 3 dry ride removals since then, so maybe something small from Zamperla like an air race would be really nice where Giant Wheel used to sit. Or maybe we'll just get more work done on Predator, or nothing, but either way I hope they throw us a bone. So this is my official prediction for new rides coming to Six Flags in 2024. 3 roller coasters with those rides going to Great Escape, Great Adventure, and Over Georgia. Overall, it looks like a very good year for the chain. It's a bit of a return to normalcy for the chain that I'm definitely here for, and I'm interested to see what parks the company invests in and what ride manufacturers the chain chooses to work with, as this is pretty much a clean slate for the company. Now that I've shared my predictions and analysis, I'd like to hear what predictions you have for the Six Flags chain down in the comments below. Let me know if you think there's something else coming that I missed, or if you completely agree with me. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Six Flags content coming very soon. With that being said, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.